Good morning and welcome to the MTK podcast, number 5. Today is Friday, so this is probably going to be the very last MTK podcast here on YouTube. This week, Monday through Friday, I have been putting these together. If you have been listening, you know it's to get my chops up, and it feels good to be doing voice work again. I am extremely confident at voice work because I've traveled so much and because I was raised in a polyglot house, right? A house with more than one language. One tends to develop the ability to, mimic, emulate, copy language and sounds. It's something that emerges usually from, oh no, I'm out of filters. Can't believe I ran out of filters for the coffee machine this morning. I shouldn't say I can't believe it. I remembered how many times the last week as I've been making coffee have I remembered that I didn't have coffee filters, or I was running low on them. Many times is the answer to that question. And now I'm having to make the old paper towel filter. That's right. This morning I have run out of coffee filters. At the last possible second I noticed it. In the middle of the intro to the podcast. So now you get the ambient sound of making a coffee filter. Oh wait, looks like we're almost out of coffee too. Alright, so this morning, the 5th podcast, you're getting hella ambient sound right now. And I'm just going to let it happen, and then later if it feels like maybe this is a little annoying to you guys, all you listeners, my thousands of listeners, then of course I will edit it because I have so much concern for all of you, my listeners, my many thousands and millions of listeners who've given me a brilliant career in television. I just want to thank you, When I began as a comedian and a mimic, the guy who was famous was, Jimmy Stewart. And now as I'm going out, it's, I guess, someone like the 45th president. But my Jimmy Stewart used to be... Now listen here. My Jimmy Stewart used to be pretty good. You think you can come around here and not have coffee filters? That's not very good anymore. I haven't done Jimmy Stewart in a really long time. Alright, how about that? You like that sound in the morning? Does that give you a thrill? Does that charge you up? Does that make you feel like something is happening? How do you grind your beans, by the way? I noticed over years that the best way, it turns out, is not to shake the grinder, not to keep moving the grinder around. I used to think that was the way to do it, but that's not the way to do it. Set all the beans in there, then hold the button down, and then do not move until you feel or hear. You see, as it starts to hear like it's getting passed through the blade, then you can start rocking it. And when you rock it, then it'll pick up any small beans that are not already, around. That ought to do it. Then tap the top, of course, so that you don't spill coffee beans all over your countertop. I like having an extra container within which I put the ground beans, so then I can just spoon them out of that when it's necessary. And Zuzu's pedals. I haven't done Jimmy Stewart in so long that I can't do Jimmy Stewart. That's what's happened here, folks. All right. Looks like we're getting things going. I forgot to put the water in. Because I had to. See, when you do stuff like this, when you're podcasting while you're trying to make your breakfast. Oh, hey, mister. Settle down, buddy. Hey, who do you think you are? Oh, you're Mr. Big Guy. Big shot making noise now that I didn't put water in you. Oh, Mr. Big Shot, eh? Well, hopefully. Let's see if that does the trick. Add a little water here. All right, now ambient sound. Why do I love recording ambient sound? Well, when I was a young boy, the only audio recording equipment that was available was cassette. And cassette recorders were in basically two varieties that you could get if you were a teenager or a 10-year-old or an 8-year-old. You know, the quarter-inch tape. No, not quarter-inch tape. You know, regular-sized... I can't believe I can't remember the dimensions now of the two types of tape. Micro cassette and regular cassettes. But... you would have a little recording device, you know, plastic Sony double button. Press the play and the record to record. You press the play to play. You press the play and record to record. And you could record to the tape. You could, of course, record over the tape. You could record the radio by putting the tape into a boom box that was attached, you know, with a radio. So you'd record songs off the radio back in those days. Hit songs would come on, and you'd know that in an hour they'd play that song at least once, so you'd wait to hear the jingly-jangly sounds of it starting, and then you'd quickly hit the button so you could catch the song, and then you'd have the song at home on your, you know, cassette there. And then I used to do, you know, mixes by just, you know, hitting the pause and then unpausing, and so then you'd have, like, just sequences on tape. And then microphones were necessary most of the time if you wanted to record a human being or get an actuality. What they call an actuality in radio is when you actually get the person's voice, you know. I interview the police chief, and then the news director might say, did you get an actuality from the chief? And I'd be like, yeah, I did. So an actuality is the word for like a quote from the mouth of the person into your microphone, you know. Like an actuality from Victor Wembanyama this morning would be cool. So magnetic tape, you had to get a microphone usually, you know. They didn't start building the built-in mics until I was around 13 or so. All right, coffee filter made from paper towels. This is going to be a bleak tasting experience, I think. Let's see what happens. Do the old switcheroo. See, I put the mug in there, and then I put the kettle bit in so I can have coffee while it's still brewing. You do that, don't you? So ambient sound, if you wanted to go out and record, you know, the noise outside or to pick up an actuality of someone, you'd have to get a microphone. And all that would be kind of expensive. It's not something that a teenage boy would really have the money for, per se, unless you mowed lawns or did something, and you wouldn't prioritize buying this stuff. You know what I mean? You'd be getting your stuff for playback, right? Your stereo system. What am I looking for? A sweater. Is there a sweater around here somewhere? I was just wearing one. Oh, I hung it in the bathroom. Okay. So, ambient sound is something that I've been interested in since I was, I could say 10. So, 47 years I've been interested in ambient sound and collecting it. And I've collected it on many different media over the years. You know, from those cassettes all the way up to DAT. I like saying DAT. Digital audio recorders. MDs, of course. I love MDs. Everybody loves mini disc. A brilliant, still remains a very good way to record. In fact, that was something I was proud of. One of the ways I changed the sound at Pacifica Radio when they went digital, and I was helping them do that, I was training people how to do news, was that I got them mini disc recorders and better unidirectional mics and taught them how to get really way better sound that way. And so I had all these, kits, gear. I had lots of kits and gear and various types of recording equipment over the years. And if you listen to or check out my archive blog, by the way, that exists. There's an archive blog for MT Karthik, mtkarthik.org, mtkarthik.org. If you ever want to check that out, there's, not all of my career, but some of my career is there. It's more to give you a picture of what I've done in the past, and I use it like this YouTube channel to just store things. I just put things there, And so that's something to check out. All right, a coffee. Oh, that's good. Even with the paper towel filter. Paper towel filter, if you try to say it fast, makes you say paper tower. Filter. Paper towel filter. R's and L's. R's and L's. Velly. Language. Ambience. Mimicry. That's what makes me good at language, too, going abroad. When I was trying to study Chinese, and it has those 4 tones, Right, so it's Those are the 4 tones. Ma. 可能吗？现在我可能讲国语吗？可是好久没有联系了。No one says no at the end of a sentence. It'd be ma or ah. Little subtle things in language you pick up as you travel. And I think this is going to conclude the podcast on YouTube. I'm going to go back to my regular content. This was a good morning and welcome to the MTK podcast number 5 for Friday, November 3rd. On the Western, is that, hey, we're talking to Americans, is it 2023 for that? 2023. And of course, on the Buddhist calendar, 2567.